So, I've been doing this self-imposed speaking challenge for 30 days now, if you include today, and that makes this the final episode in the series. For this final episode, I'm going to go back to the original guide that I was inspired by, that I've been working off, the one that I always have linked in the video, and the final episode is supposed to be the review video. What have I learnt from this process? Have I achieved my goals? And what am I going to do next? And that's what I'm going to try and talk about in this final episode of me talking unscripted and unedited for 10-ish minutes or so. So, as usual, I haven't really put a lot of thought into what I'm going to say ahead of time. I want to just speak this just from the mind, come up with it and see how coherent I am towards the end. I'm probably not coherent at all. But before I lose my mind in all the nonsense I'm about to talk about, I do want to thank the people. And what do I mean by that? So, when I first started this channel, this challenge, all that, this year, I had this ambition of getting 10 viewers by the end of the year, so by the end of 2026, because from my perspective, why would anyone watch any of the nonsense I put out? I'm not adding any value, I'm not teaching anyone anything, I'm just talking about myself and just waffling away. But to my surprise, some people have watched some of this content, and I'm eternally thankful for them. Christ, I'm already falling apart. I'm getting all emotional, perhaps. Yeah, so I appear to have some subscribers and some viewers, and some of them I actually start recognising in the comments and such, and I've checked out their channels, and I'm going to be honest, I'm really looking forward, to seeing their journey more than my own, because a lot of them, so there's Mr. Neon Blue Slime, of course, there's Logan draws a lot with his drawings, and Bran Graham as well. Sorry if I'm butchering these names, I'm not very good at speaking, even though I've done this challenge, but yeah, they all seem to be a lot younger than I am. They're starting their journeys with online content creation, and I'm really enjoying watching what they're putting out, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to be, their journeys by the end of the year, by the end of the next 5 years, in 10 years' time, when they're perhaps similar to my age. What will they have accomplished? And any other small channels I've stumbled across. I really prefer, since I've started this, watching smaller channels like people with fewer than 10 subscribers that I somehow stumble across. I used to think that if a channel had, fewer than 100,000 subscribers, what was the point in watching? But now I really appreciate, now that I've been on the other side of the camera, I really appreciate the effort that goes into making these videos and the passion that goes into making them. For me, this is just a hobby, but for some people, they're trying to make it into their whole life, I suppose, and that's inspirational to me. So what have I learnt from this series? Have I hit my goals? So I had this ambitious goal that I would, after 30 days, magically be good at speaking all of a sudden, to be able to speak coherently for 10 minutes on a topic, tell a good narrative story, and I can say that I'm still work in progress when it comes to that. As soon as the camera turns on, my mind goes completely blank, but at least I can sort of stall a bit, I suppose, until I come up with the next thing to say now. I'm not sure if that's a useful skill for real life. People might just think I'm insane. But we shall see, I suppose. I've got a customer service training course to go on today that I forgot I signed up to. I need to go to it, otherwise my organisation is going to get mad at me for wasting resources. But I think that this 30-day challenge will really help my customer service skills, my ability to talk to people without freezing up. I'll say that I've gained a lot more confidence in just making these videos, because before the first one, I was absolutely terrified of turning on the camera and speaking. I was sweating, I was constantly putting it off. Weekends have been were the worst at the start, because I wasn't able to record in the morning. Well, I was, but I just didn't for some reason. That was a bit stupid. So I spent the whole day stressing over what to say, but that doesn't happen as much anymore. I was hoping that my speaking pace would calm down a bit, because I still know that I speak way too fast. Just think way too fast in general. I'm constantly watching content at 2 to 3 times speed, just for efficiency's purposes, because, I like to be efficient in my life. I don't really like wasting time. But if I'm speaking way too fast and I'm incomprehensible, then I'm wasting other people's time, and also, therefore, wasting my own time by not being understandable. I haven't progressed as much in this field as I was hoping for, but I suppose I haven't really been reviewing these videos properly in that respect. One thing I don't like about how things work on YouTube is I don't like how your own views of your own videos count, because I like to see sort of an accurate view of the number of viewers. I never thought I'd care about this at the start, but it's quite interesting to see this sort of thing. It's quite motivational, even though most people just seem to accidentally click on my videos from, YouTube how to Minecraft videos. Mine must just be randomly recommended, and as soon as they realise it's just some loner talking a load of nonsense about learning how to speak, they probably click off immediately. But some people seem to stay, I guess. One thing I've noticed is that I never thought I had a very interesting voice. I always thought I was really, really boring, really sort of dull. But some people have commented on the fact that, maybe that's not the case. And I guess because a lot of the people who view these videos seem to be from overseas, for some reason. I don't know why that's the case. Perhaps YouTube can tell that they would enjoy my weird, boring British accent, because to me, the US accent sounds really confident and almost powerful, and has a level of authority to it that can be brought through videos and such. And I kind of prefer watching videos from the US. When I click on a video and a British person's talking, I'm like, oh, okay, well, not sure if I'm going to watch this, but maybe I should consider that in the future. There are some banging channels, though, I suppose, of British YouTubers, like Tom Scott, for example. He actually came to my organisation the other week, come to think about it, to film some videos about forensic science and crime. I'll try not to give away too much about what I do, but because it might be easy to find who I am. That's my irrational fear in life. I guess, what does it matter if most people aren't from the UK that watch these videos? Anyway, back to my point in the story. So Tom Scott came. I was quite impressed and almost amazed that he was here. And I pointed this out to my colleagues, and not a single one of them knew who he was. I couldn't believe it, but I sort of emphasised my awareness that the average normie millennial doesn't really have a clue what's going on online. They're kind of just concerned about their little lives, their Facebook groups, that sort of thing. And this is something I'm going to talk about in the future, in general. Have I covered everything I've learnt? Some little things is that, once you start making these videos, you think that something will change, but in reality, it's kind of like starting a new job. Everything seems new and exciting at the start, and then you just kind of get used to it and can crack on with recording. Not saying that I'm good at this or anything, but it feels a bit more routine, which in some ways bad, because once things become routine, at least for me, for someone who lives the loner life, who just expects a nice easy routine, once you get into these routines, it's hard to learn. So what I'm going to be doing in the future is trying different things. I would very much like to be able to release 2 videos a week of me talking about topics that interest me and interest others, but in reality it's probably going to be 1 to begin with, or maybe fewer than 1 every fortnight. One thing that's amazed me though recently, this is me just going off topic as usual, is once I've finished this video, I'll have over 5 hours of content on my channel. That sounds like crazy. That's like me talking for 5 hours. I would like to review this every year, this video series, and see where I am in the future. So I've got all these Christmas rituals, because I get so much time off work over Christmas. I get so bored, I get 2 weeks 2 weeks straight off work, paid of course, because this is the UK. So we get our welfare bucks and all that stuff, and our employee protections. Of course, we don't get paid that much, but we get paid, I suppose. But yeah, oh Lord, someone's coming to work. I better wrap this up then. So, where was I? What am I going to be doing next? I'm going to be making more of these videos. God, that's made me lose my train of thought completely. Someone just slammed the door somewhere. So yeah, let me end this then. Sorry for the terrible ending. As you can see, I've learned absolutely nothing from this, but I look forward to continuing to learn and improve, and perhaps some of the videos, once I do start editing, might be a bit more coherent. I don't really want to get back to scripting. I do like to just have a load of notes, as I did with the monthly review video. That was really good, actually. I felt like I could talk for ages on that video. But yeah, thanks for listening, and hopefully this wasn't too much of a disappointing ending. I will be back, not tomorrow. I'm of course still going to practice personally by myself and not upload some videos, so just speaking. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it, and I will be back someday.